What's poppin', y'all? We back with the Squid Games Aftermath podcast. I am your host, DeAndre Player 288, and today is a very, very special day. I've been looking forward to this one for a hot minute. I've been looking at this one for since I thought about doing the podcast in the first place. Let's be honest with you, man. This guest is known as the Big Sleeper. He's known as the big dog who gonna pull everybody on his back in tug of war. The lawyer himself, Mr. Chad Van Horn, player 286. What's poppin', man?
Bro, honored to be here with my tent mate. Like, this is family. This is different than these little squads or gangs or cliques or frat boys or whatever. This is family right here. So I'm so excited to be on with you right now, man.
Hey, man, this ain't no Gombu gang. This ain't no corner. This ain't none of that weak stuff, man. This the real squad.
From the tent, baby. From the tent.
Exactly. So, man, before we get into everything, tell me, why did you decide to apply for Squid Games, the challenge?
Bro, as you know, and as some people know now, I'm a bankruptcy attorney. I see people every day going through financial hardship. I see people that would sign up for the real Squid Game, like put their life on the line to get out of whatever situation they're in. And when this opportunity came, I saw it as an opportunity for me to make a difference in my community. I'm big involved in Big Brothers Big Sisters. I wanted to do a financial literacy for Big Brothers Big Sisters to help get the kids out of debt early, basically before they even get in debt, and know how to make money, deal with money. And that was my motivation to get on the show.
Hey, man, that's awesome. You said it yourself. You see everything happening, and you're like, well, I, one, never want to go through that, but two, I want to help others out. That's super selfless, man. You thinking about people outside of your family, so definitely I give you kudos and props for that. That's huge and big time.
Thank you, brother.
So you find out you get cast on the show, and soon, you're packing up your things. It's like the last night that you went home before you head out on the plane to get overseas. What's going through your head?
Man, honestly, and I haven't told anybody this yet, and I told you, you're family, so I'm gonna give you everything. I actually almost didn't get on the plane. My office, I have 30 people that work in my office. My family depends on me, so I have a meeting with my close group. And I'd say, guys, if you have any reservations, I'm out. And I said, so we took a vote, and this was actually a unanimous vote. We'll talk about that later. They all said, you got to do it. This is a chance in a lifetime. And they all said, don't get on that loser flight back, because they booked me a loser flight like 3 days later. So my wife was very clear. She did not want me back soon.
Man, she's like, come on now, you gonna do all this, man. We can't, look, you better do what you need to do.
Yes, sir.
Come on now. He said, all right, y'all, I'm gonna do it for y'all. He was crying, getting on the plane. Like, all right, I can do it.
You know it, man. You know it. She likes, I think it was from Gladiator or one of those. It's like either come back standing or come back on your shield. So she was like, you better go out there and win it. And I was like, there's 455 other competitors. She was like, I don't care. Do it.
Man, he's like, all right, I got you, girl. So we head out like the Gladiator night that you are, and you get on a plane, head out to London, and we get to the door. Just fast forwarding a little bit. We get to the hotel, do the whole quarantine and whatnot, and then it's time to get ready for essentially red light, green light. But before we get to red light, green light, we gotta get patched up and whatnot, and we get in this long line. And that is where we officially meet for the first time. I don't think we met in the tent. I believe we met in the line initially. And that's where I met you. I met Cookie. I met Mai. I met behind me. What is his name? 289.
Oh, shoot. I know you're talking about, though.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. But 289 behind me is legit. So we got, our little number. That's where nobody's been eliminated yet. So we have to stand in the line forever. And, we stand there for probably like 2 hours, feels like, right. A very long time.
And they had us going like last too, man. Like everybody else, I felt like got a full practice run in there by the time we even get in there. So So yeah, but it was cool as hell. I especially remember you dancing in line and basically entertaining everybody. So that was kind of nice.
Man, I was antsy, man. They had me locked up, and I'm out my cage now. You can't control a brother, but
that's for sure.
yeah, I mean, no, you was definitely keeping the jokes going on because we had the two Kevins in front of you guys, and I was laughing like, oh, Kevin, yada yada, and then they both get out.
Yeah, real quick too.
Yeah, no, we had a solid like 10 people in our, from 280 to 289 was like solid people, 100%.
Yeah, I've said this to everybody. They set me up for success by putting me around the people, my tent mates, my number mates from the beginning. That's for sure. And then Brownie too. She was in our tent, but she didn't like hanging out with the kids that she was around, so she came and hung out with me, Cookie, Mai. So
yeah, no, definitely. And so yeah, y'all people, I get to talk to you guys the most. And so, we get a little bit of rapport and, we feeling good energy going in. Nothing is officially made, but definitely there's commonality and bond in there. And it's like, okay, I know I got y'all. Like, there ain't no worries about that. So we get into real life.
Real quick to that point, it's important because everybody was being themselves because we weren't mic'd up. We didn't have video. This was all off camera. So nobody was really playing anything up or whatever. This was just real DeAndre, this is real Chad, this is real, the people were being real. And there were some jerks in there too that luckily they got out red light, green light. But yeah, continue on. Sorry about that.
No, definitely. I mean, you can't, as I've said before, and other people said, you can't force relationships with people. It kind of just happens organically. It's a vibe, it's a feeling. If I wasn't feeling you, then we probably would have just been not speaking in line, but that was not the case. And then, there's some people I wasn't speaking in line, so definitely it's just something out of your control, and it's kind of just incontrollable, and that's the beauty behind it. So definitely we got fortunate. I'll say we got fortunate
for sure,
because I was looking at around other people and they were just like nobody was talking. I was like, dang.
Nothing. And I said even throughout all the games that having people that care about you and having teammates that really are cheering you on, going into red light, green light, that helps, man. If you're out there like truly lonely and don't have any supporters and you just got to get through, in my case, 7 hours. I know you were way ahead of me, so you're done in like 2 seconds. I got the full experience.
That's right. So we gonna. Nah, you did get the full experience. So we get in there, we get ready and go and boom and Chad. He's gonna take his time and do it right. You don't want to rush, but because he got extra warmth. I'm small. I gotta get in there because I'm freezing. So you get through red light, green light. How was your experience through that whole thing, man?
Man, it was, well, I still remember they were like, this would be a couple hour competition. And I was like, wait a second, there's a 5-minute clock. How's this gonna be a couple hours? And a couple hours turns into 7 hours for me. I had a good rhythm going down. I was following Aurora, player 399. She knew the song. So I was following her lead basically. And I would take 5 to 7 steps, do a jump stop. I'm a basketball player. That would keep my balance. One of the times the music ran long, so I tried to get a quick sprint to get some extra. And bro, I got the worst. You have one of those too, right? Where you're just standing there for. and there was, I forget who the girl was behind me, but she's like, "You got it," because I'm shaking. She's like, "You got it. Just a couple more minutes. You got it." And luckily, I survived that. I was like, "Man, I'm never doing that again."
Man. Yeah, that was not the smart move, coach. Come on now.
Stick with the plan. Stick with the plan.
Hey, stick with the plan. But hey, you made it through the first round. Congrats. 286 is moving on. So we are cruising. So we get into the dorms, and that's, so when you get in the dorms, what's kind of going through your head? Are you thinking about getting with a small group? Or are you thinking about meeting everybody? What's happening?
So initially, stick with my number group. So my boy Cookie, who I'm actually linking up with tomorrow. And yes, we are real friends in real life. Like, this isn't fake. I know a lot of people think reality is a reality show. These are fake relationships. I promise you, this relationship right here on this show, the one with Cookie, Mai, all these are real relationships. So Cookie and I were thinking, all right, well, strategically, where do we want our beds? And I said, let's go by the bathrooms because everybody's gonna have to walk by us. We'll get to know people, we'll get to hear what people are talking about. So we took the 2 bunks right by the bathrooms. And basically, I think we made good moves where our group spread out through the dorm completely. So we didn't really have that corner gang or whatever. Like we'd hang out, we'd be cool, eat, but we were spread out through everything. And I know you heard everything. I know Brownie heard everything. I know Figgy heard everything. So between all you guys, I could just take naps and you would get me up to date. And especially like whenever any type of eliminations were going on, like we would have each other back. Hey, have you heard my number? Have you heard anything about 286, 287, 288? Like, nah, we're cool. I'm like, all right, cool. And then we can move forward. And nobody was really gunning for us, which was cool. Unless you've heard of it, I still, to this day, have not heard anybody gunning for me. Even though I'm an attorney, I'm a bigger guy, maybe a perceived threat, nobody ever said, maybe we should get 286 out, which I think that's a testament to my napping and my
we gonna get it. Yeah, no, we're gonna get into your nap because your napping got you in trouble once. But we'll get there.
We don't have to talk about that, do we?
We gonna have to talk about it later. But yes, you was chilling big time. Every time I saw you, you was waiting. You was either sitting on the corner by the bathroom or you was in bed. So every time saw you chit chat and let you know what's popping if anything's popping. So we get to moving on, and essentially second game begins, Dalgona, and you get in the which line?
Line 1.
So you get in line 1. You get in line 1. Ultimately, first group goes out. Boom, we find out. Second group goes out. Boom, I'm out. Third group goes in. Yeah, it was a tough go, man. But
and I know we won't talk too much about that, but it hurt. Like that one was actually the first time that it hurt, and we'll talk more about it too after Warships. And I was like, no, man, you can't go out like that. It hurt me so bad. It hurt me so bad. And if you actually can see my reaction in one of the videos, and like that was the first time where I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like, yeah. So anyway, I got line 1. The reason I got line 1 was Biggie had a friend that said line 4 is bad luck or number 4 is bad luck in Korean, I guess. And they're like, well, let's go 1. So we went 1. Obviously, we know what happens. Got the circle, thank God, because I was terrible at that game. I got good at there for sure.
Hey, well, that was blessings, man. You got in the circle line, and I just spoke with your circle leader, Mark, earlier.
Still to this day, Mark's my guy.
Yeah, great peoples, man. Great peoples.
For sure.
But yes, he comes through for y'all in the clutch with some help from Spencer. And yeah, we move on. You get through that circle. Too hard, you get through it and whatnot. I'd say, how was it for you?
Well, see, when I say I got a good edit, it looks like I finished before Figgy and Brownie, which I finished last. Like I was dead last, like shaking while doing. Dropped my pin in the sand. Threatened to break the guard's leg because he kicked sand in my tin. And then it wasn't working at all for me, and I was holding it wrong. Brownie finishes, and this is what I talk about teamwork. Brownie finishes and passes, and she stays there next to me. She's like, "You got to hold the pin like this. You got this. You got this." And I had like 15 seconds left, and I'm still going round and around, and then all of a sudden it just pops open, and I was like, just staring at it. And Brownie's like, "What are you doing? Raise your hand. Raise your hand." So I raised my hand, and that's where you hear player 286. And something again, I haven't told anybody because I'm saving it all for you. You see me yell afterwards, like, "Let's go!" Right? Mm-hmm. So we were in quadrants. So we were the first group to go. So what I said to the rest of the group, I said, "Don't take this for granted. You got the best shape, but you got to take this seriously," because I almost got my ass out with like 15 seconds left on the easiest damn shape.
Hey, man, but look, he came through in the clutch, and so he finished the circle. Bro, so congrats to Yeah, two
Crying
A6 is
over
moving.
Crying
Now, go ahead.
over a cookie, brother. Wait, I'm sorry. Crying over a cookie.
You know, when you got big hands, I'm assuming you got big hands. It's harder to kind of get that. So I understand.
100%. Yeah, the girls have the advantage there, man. They can really dig in there, and I was fumbling that stupid pin anyway. Yeah, let's move on.
We're gonna move on and move out from Dalgona, and we move back into the dorms for a couple days. We have a little phone incident. 198 thankfully goes home. He's out of there, and we move to the third game, which we walk in here and everyone's thinking, okay, we need Chad right now. This is Chad's forte. And everyone is clamoring over you like Mr. Congeniality over here. And all of a sudden we get inside and it's not what we think. It is Warships. So remind me which team you were on.
I was team 7, and that's with Brownie, Figgy, Daryl and Brownie were my captain and lieutenant, if you will.
Yeah, so you on team 7 and Daryl and Brownie are your captains, and unfortunately your team loses, and you lose around 8 to 10 players on your squad, the 2 captains and the 2 boats. But you on the fortunate side of things, get on the boat with Mai, and y'all sailing out of there partially unscathed. How was the whole Warships battleships for you?
So first off, a couple things. First, we went against the Gang Boo Gang or whatever they call themselves. We would have smashed them in tug of war. I'll put that on anything. You could talk to Dan or whatever the guy with the thighs, whatever his name is. Steven. Yeah, we would have smashed them in tug of war. The challenge is still there. My squad is still ready to do it. So if we can set it up, we'll do a live event, make that happen. Second, I was destroyed after that game, man. Like the first time that I felt it was when you got taken out. And this time, now I lost Brownie. Now I lost Figgy. Now I lost Kwame. I lost Daryl. Like I lost a lot of good people. Syed, man. So 2 things happened. One, there was one guy, player 374, Andy, was talking trash on the other side. And they had to restrain me from him. And Dan and his guys were like, probably should have poked the bear, maybe leave him alone. And you could see later in the dorm, he's like coming up and trying to apologize to me. I was like, you're gonna get eliminated soon, so don't worry about that. I'll make sure of it. And I think that's actually fast forward, and that's why he started like talking like, "Oh, I'm not a threat. Like, don't take me out," because he knew. He knew.
So what exactly was he saying to you? Just curious.
No, he was just yelling. Like he was yelling over the wall. Like, yeah, you still look like and Brownie's sitting there crying, and I'm giving Brownie a hug, and he was just talking trash. He's like, "Oh, I was so mad, bro. I was so mad." And then he's like, no, it's just joking. It's like, bro, this is real life. Like, these are people playing for 4.56 million. These are some of my best friends in the game. Like, you know, celebrate. Like, you know, you're an athlete. There's ways to win properly, and there's ways to lose properly. And the rest of them were super respectful. So Dan and Steven, Doc, all those guys were super respectful. And I actually went to the producers on the way out, and I said, look, if Brownie, if we can switch, I'll self-eliminate, bring Brownie back in. I don't care if it's got to be a phone call or how you want to do it. I 100% will do that. And they told me that Brownie said she wouldn't allow that to happen, which I get. But you know, knowing her backstory and why she was there, like she was, you know, one of my day ones as well, one of my 10 people. And that's how I am with my family. So getting back in the dorm, I actually I legit went to bed and did not get out of bed for 2 days. We didn't have competitions for like 2 days. And welfare was concerned about me. They had to like bring me back and talk to me. Because I had Mai and I hung out with Mai. I talked to Mai still. Like Mai would come sit next to my bed. But I didn't want to get out of bed because my people weren't there, man. And it was tough. Real tough.
Yeah, man. It's when you lose the close people, it's hard. I mean, you in this game and you stuck in this place and can't go outside. can't eat much. Like it gets to your head after a while, and sometimes you question like, why am I acting like this? I would never act like this outside, but it's alternate reality essentially, and crazy stuff happens. So
I tried more in that dorm than I have in my life. In the funerals I've been to, I've had significant losses, in my family. But I honestly cried, and I never thought that was going to happen. I never thought I'd have such depth of relationships in such a short period of time with just these 450 odd random people, but yeah, the relationships were real.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Well, we must move, and we had some casualties, but we still in here with 286, moving on. And we have a couple eliminations in the dorm. And so the first one is 3 people eliminated off this voting box. And then it eventually is 374 Andy, 330 Dr. V, and 161 Lorenzo. Who do you vote for?
Well, 374, man. I wouldn't run to the front of the line when I heard that. I was like, wait, hold on. And they took that from me because, what's his name? He was a cool dude as well. And actually, he was his teammate. His team even hated him and voted him out.
You talking about Chapman, 445?
Yeah, 445. He was one of his teammates on, I think, on Warships, bro. And he ran up there too. And he took it first real quick and just walked away. Like, well, that's easy enough for me. It actually did work in my favor as well, where I didn't have to put somebody new up there. Because you put somebody new, you might get a target on your back. But I wasn't really worried because, I mean, Andy, you're probably a really nice guy. It's just you're not my guy. I don't hold any hate towards you. You're just not my guy. And it sucks to go out that way. But that was an easy vote for me. And actually, it was good because I don't like eliminating people that way. I don't like that being a thing. So he gave me a person to vote for, which I thank him for that.
Yeah, no, easy decision. You want to run your mouth? Easy. I ain't got to even think twice about who I'm going to vote for in this line. So did it to yourself, my friend. Sometimes y'all got to win gracefully. It's a lesson learned. So we move on to the next test, as they call it. And they have these boxes on stage, and there are 6 boxes, but they need 5 people. So with the 5 people that went up, it was 375 Joel, Jesse, forget his number, sorry. Jacobin, Felicia, and Kyle.
Yes.
So we have all 5 of these people up there. Are you worried about any of these people voting you out?
So I was not. I was not worried. I mean, yes, I was worried because anytime there's an elimination, you're worried, right? And I was cool with pretty much all of them up there. I was a little worried about TJ's squad because I felt like TJ and I didn't really vibe. So I think his squad might have been looking for me. Maybe I thought I was under the radar with that, which it ended up being they weren't really worried about me, which was cool, and I was cool with everybody up there. But anytime there was an elimination, man, you're just sitting there like, and I was always in the back anyway. And I'm just hanging out and like, man, don't put a 2 up there to start. Like, don't even get near the 200s or 286s or anything like that. But I was definitely worried for. So Kyle's from Fort Lauderdale, so we had many friendships or alliances or whatever you want to call. And Sam as well is from Fort Lauderdale, so we're all like neighbors down here. So we all kind of looked out for each other in that way. My boy Jacoby, man, he literally slept his way all the way through. And the first time he does anything, gets eliminated. That was gangster.
Yeah, that was cold blooded, man. I mean, I talked to him a few days ago, and he was on here, and he definitely wishes that he chilled back like he was doing the whole time, and he just went up there, and yeah, it was tough. He's not too fond of Felicia. He wants that smoke. And I just spoke with Kyle a couple hours ago too, and he stands by his decision as well. It wasn't anything personal; it was just game. So, yeah, I mean that's just how it goes sometimes, y'all.
And Kyle, man, he is an ultimate gamer, man. He's definitely one of those schemers. Like I feel like you and I, we just stayed friends and we're cool, right? And we knew who we liked and who we didn't, but we weren't really scheming. But there was some legit scheming going on with groups, man. And
Yeah, no, I was not really paying attention and trying to do that part of the game because I'm like, look, like it'll happen when I need to do something like that. But until then, it's like everyone's making all these alliances and this and that. But there wasn't really one game that was truly played, except for maybe the circle of trust. I think that you really had to trust people and you had to have you had to make a team per se. Like, yeah, you needed teams for battleships, but it was an individual game at the end of the day, battleships. Like, you can't control anything that's going on. Same as Dalgona, same as red light, green light. Marvels, no alliances. It's one on, like, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It was,
I feel like people wasted a lot of time and energy trying to build these teams and everything, and at the end of the day, it didn't matter. And
it didn't matter.
And it showed. I mean, it showed in the results.
Yep, 100%. I mean, they see you as a group, and so they're going, okay, they're a threat. Let me get the groups out. And it's like, I don't know what y'all look. Have y'all not seen the show? Like, I mean, they saw the only thing in the show that they needed teams for was when they was killing each other in the sleep. That's basically, and then tug of war.
And I don't know if you knew that people actually thought there was going to be riot night. Did anybody talk to you about that?
I thought there was going to be riot nights too.
That was you too? Yeah, man. Brownie and Figgy legit had they were like taking sleeping turns. Like they're like, all right, I'll sleep for an hour, you sleep for an hour. And I was like, guys, I promise you they're not. If it happens, come to my corner and just sit back there. And the first person that comes in, you get their ass knocked out. And then nobody else is coming over. We're just gonna leave that body lay there.
Hey, look, I thought they was gonna put some squibs on us and like at night and then turn the lights off and then make it dim and then it's like whoever pops someone squib or something like that. I don't know. It was like, you know.
Man, there were some wild theories that came out. Actually, that was the most entertaining part, was like talking to you, talking to Biggie, talking to Brownie about your different wild theories that you guys came up with sometimes, man.
Because I thought the boats on the wall was gonna be something like riot stuff, you know. So I was like, oh, like, you know, it could be a riot going on. I don't know. It was a lot of stuff going on. Those lights was messing with my brain.
Oh, for sure. And I was there for that entertainment though. I was there for every story that you guys came up with. It was good. It was really fun.
Yeah. It goes to show what you can think of without your phone. But we move. So next we find out that there's we get a reward, and this reward is a picnic. And they say pair up in twos, and you decide to pair up with
R. Kelly.
Milwaukee. Oh, that's right.
Milwaukee R. Kelly, sorry. Rod Kelly.
Oh, let me chill. I need to chill. I remember meeting him and I was like, what's your name? And he's like, R. Kelly. I was like, huh? I was like, what? He's like, yeah. I was like,
proudly wears that name.
Yeah, proudly. And I was shocked. I was like, so you going, I was making jokes. I was joking with everybody like, oh, you ain't gonna piss on nobody, are you? He just looked at me with this horrible look on his face. I'm like, I'm just playing with you.
Bro, he actually was a super nice guy too, and actually still has been. Like, we're still cool to this day. But yeah, we ended up, so Mai and I basically had an agreement that we were never going to pair up for anything. So if it ever came down to a two thing, like we weren't, and she was over doing her own thing, and you know, I was in bed, but that's where I hang out. And R. Kelly was getting water right next to my bed, and they said, "Oh, you got to pair up. You know, you got this." And we were just like, "Hey, you know," and honestly, we weren't even thinking about marbles or anything like that. And we were like, "Hey, yeah, let's pair up." We didn't. There was an odd number, so we wanted to make sure that we weren't the odd number out as well. So we were right there, so we paired up and had a nice little picnic together.
Had a nice little picnic, but ultimately find out that maybe it was good to be by yourself, which they didn't show on TV as well. Come on now. But yes, it turns out to be marbles. So we get in the marble arena, and how are you guys deciding on what game you're going to play?
So we pretty much knew going in we were going to do like a little beer pong. We didn't know what props we would have available to us. So luckily in our little, because everybody got a little different area, and that set was incredible. That was to me, that and the next set that we're going to talk about were the two best like looking sets, if you will. So there were 4 little bricks. So basically we put the bricks around. We said, all right, best of 10. And then if there's a tiebreaker, it's just basically a single elimination. We go 1 for 1. And then we start shooting.
Then y'all start shooting. Unfortunately, they don't really show you. They show your guys' little block that you made.
And actually somebody posted a clip. I don't know if there's different edits out there, but somebody posted a clip of me shooting, and I have it. And I don't remember actually seeing that in the show. But the way it worked, and R. Kelly might remember it differently. I went up big early. Like I was like four out of my first 5 shots went in, and I was up like 4-0. And then this guy caught fire and put the pressure on me, and then I put on weight at the end. But it actually was a fun match. I think him and I really didn't have that deep relationship. Like we weren't in the same gang boo gang. Obviously not mother son game or all that other drama. And we joked around. We had a lot of fun with it because we were like, he was a cool dude. I didn't have to worry about him like lying or cheating, and he felt the same way about me. He's like, look, let's go down. Let's pick this game. If you beat me, you beat me, and no hard feelings either way. So what was weird too is we thought we were taking our time, and I think we had 20 minutes. Bro, we were done in like 2 minutes. We went way too quick, bro. We were like, just like, I don't know if it was nervous energy or what. We looked up and we're like, oh shoot, we still got 18 minutes left.
Oh my gosh, wow. So what'd you guys do for the rest of the 18 minutes? Just sit there and talk?
Yeah. Well, actually, they got like 100 different shots of us. They had us recreating shots. In one of the shots, they showed me making one. And we were hanging out, and then they had this epic scene that they did that they didn't really even show. They're like, we want you just handing the marbles and walking off, and they're going to show R. Kelly in the back just falling. I was like, that's going to be a great scene. Can't wait to watch it. And then they cut it out.
I keep saying, release the tapes every podcast. Release the tapes.
I want a 286 edit. I want my own edit. I feel like there are other players in there that got their own versions. I want my version.
Yeah, no, we got the whole version of Trey and Leanne, the entire everything, dorm stuff, game stuff, everything. So,
yep.
I love Trey and Leanne. Y'all are great, but I was ready to kind of move up and move on from that little storyline because,
you know what's funny, and I actually told Trey this. In the game, Trey and Leanne, like I was cool with them. Now watching it, I'm like, man, Trey's annoying, bro. But not in real life. But like the version that they show.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean? Yeah, and no, because it seems like, I know what you mean. Because
he's a likable guy, and I like Trey, but like, I don't know, man. It just, maybe that, and I guess other people have that feeling. But he was my friend in the game. He's still my friend in real life. But the way they show him just makes it kind of like corny or something.
Yeah. No, it's just a lot. It's just a little too much. And it's like, I get it after the second episode that y'all mother and son, I get it. Like, it's just pushed down our throats so much. And I was happy that they were together. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. Because it's like, I can't do it anymore, I mean, like I said, I love Trey. He's a good dude in life. I got to meet Leanne a lot because she's from KC, just like me. So we got pretty close.
Oh, that's cool.
Man, I'm just like, because he's not, honestly, like, Trey is cool. This is not a Trey bashing fest, but it's just kind of, on TV, it's just kind of like stale a little, in my personal opinion. My personal opinion.
Well, and again, this is, I was fortunate where I got some time on the show, and people got to know me, and people, like my character and everything. There were so many people there that were so interesting, man, that just got completely cut. And of course, I'm not Netflix. I'm not an editor. I'm not these people know what they're doing to maximize views. But they could have made, I don't know, more episodes, made the episodes a little longer, and just introduced these such interesting people that I tell my wife about it. I tell my friends, they're like, wait, those people are on the show? I'm like, yeah, and these were incredible people. They're like, where were they? And I have to like pause it in like a wide shot. I'm like, there they are right there. And then, yeah, but this is not Trey bashing. I like Trey, but it just got to be a lot.
It was a lot. Like I mean, in my notes, I'm like, again? Like, how many montages y'all getting? Shit. I mean, somebody knows, and they must have relatives at Netflix. What's happening, Cole? Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? We need to story for sure.
I need something because I mean, we have stripper Chad didn't get no airtime. We got Irish Eric didn't go airtime. I was like, what's happening?
I know, man. And have you got stripper Chad on yet?
I haven't. I'm working on it. He's definitely hard to get in contact with consistently.
I can see that. Well, first off, the funniest part was when somebody came up to me and thought I was stripper Chad. And they started asking me about the Thunder Down Under and all this stuff. And I was like, nah, that's the other one. And then you definitely got to get the story where we thought he got eliminated. But I'm going to leave that to him because that's his story. And it was one of the funniest moments in the entire thing where he almost got eliminated just by being stripper Chad. But again, move on.
Oh, snap. Coach, we need the tapes.
Yeah, we need that tape for sure. And that was, again, one of the funniest moments, but it's his story to tell, so I don't want to take that.
Okay. Well, that one's to be determined on saying. I'm trying to trap stripper Chad if you watching this. Get back to me, because, bro, like, you get back to me random times. I need you to get back to me consistently. So I'll just leave that there. I'm bashing you on that one. You're horrible on your phone.
I love it.
We
can see that.
Yeah, we move on. So congrats. You make to player 286, makes it past marbles, no sweat. We cruising. The money is in sight, and is the last 31 players. And we, as I have this as well, Trey, he admits his advantage is gone. And yeah, I'm like, okay, about time. But I digress. So then we have this next game test to where, let me not rush through this.
Oh, no.
So before this next test, they need to elect a leader. Everyone selects TJ as the leader, except our friend who is taking a quick cat nap. Man, when you wake up and find out TJ's the leader, what's happening?
Bro, this was, and again, TJ is my guy. I just did a promo was just released. Me and TJ playing a game. We joke back and forth. He is a solid human being. But this guy, man, he is the hero of every one of his stories. And every one of his stories is like an hour long. And so I'm taking a nap. I wake up and TJ's giving this speech where I'm so honored that I was unanimously nominated by all of you in the dorm to lead you, and I'm going to lead you, and all of you love me so much to put me in this position. I was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, he's not my captain. Like, why is he? Not that I wanted to be captain, because captains get eliminated. We saw that in Warships. But I would have liked a little bit of a discussion about who was going to lead us into the next competition. And I guess that discussion didn't happen because, TJ unanimously nominated himself leader. But shout out to TJ. You're still my guy. But
yeah, no, TJ.
Not my captain.
Hey, look, so I will ask, if you were awake, what do you think would have happened?
If I was awake, I would probably be Mai's captain, because I know she was moving more to be aggressive, and I was trying to talk her out of it, and I was trying to tell her still to hang back, but she was like, I want to get more control. So I was like, all right, if you want to, and then we'll talk about it later, where she did become captain. I would have pushed for her to be captain, because captains do get eliminated, but they also can save people. And
100%.
and I know that Mai being captain, I 100% had no doubt that Mai had my back. So I think I could have got Mai to be captain of that if I was awake, but I was asleep, so whatever. That's my fault.
Hey, it might have been a blessing in disguise, because if you out here opposing everyone with TJ, they might have looked at you like, okay, like what is he talking about? And then maybe some people have some second thoughts about you, but ultimately that did not happen. So we don't even have to worry through that scenario. So yes, then the rules are decided that the captain is safe on to the next round. Everyone's shook right now. They're like, wow.
Yeah, not happy at all.
Big Chad is not happy right now. He is like, oh my God, y'all a bunch of idiots up in here. What are y'all doing, man? But then we learn the rules, and it's basically a pick you in the backyard or in the schoolyard of basketball, and whoever's not picked isn't just sitting out the game. They out the game. You got to go back inside and do homework for the rest of the day. And when this is going on, so TJ is safe, and it's funny because in this episode they also catch you guys running your mouth about TJ, which is interesting. And I got into a whole little thing about the podcast I did with Gnu.
Oh yeah.
And he gets into we get into that whole thing a little bit more because we go over episode 7. And you know, it's basically how the whole perception of how you feel about somebody, do they really feel like the same about you? You know, type of thing. Like you guys probably felt some type of way about TJ, but he probably felt really highly of you. So it's really hard. It's a really interesting gauge of like relationships in general, about if you can honestly read and tell if somebody's feeling you the same way they're feeling them. And I think TJ, he might lack a little of that. Just, you know, because, you know, sometimes when you're the leader and you're in charge, sometimes you just kind of dismiss it. You just assume that other people are thinking the same way about you. You don't really think like, oh, do they respect me and stuff like that? So that might be with that.
Yeah, I'm 100%. 100%. And TJ is one of those guys where like he likes to talk, and he, you know, and I love the way they edited him for Warships too. Where and everybody that I talked to is like, man, does he ever shut up? I was like, no, he doesn't. But he's honest. So like that's who he is, and he's a positive guy, and he's a good person. But he over a 30-day period, man, I can only get so many pep talks and hear about so many jogs and team stretching. I was like, bruh, we are not a team. But yeah, so then when he gets up there, you know, we're all doing the same thing. We're all standing around looking around like, oh, wait, who's got me, right? And I thought, I was like, man, I hope Mai gets picked. I'm like, who's gonna pick Mai? And I thought, I was like, there's no way TJ's picking Mai. And then
there's no way TJ's picking Mai to everybody, I think. Well, honestly, to me, because I know like behind the scenes, but to the casual viewer, yes, they think he's picking her because of what they shown. Like, you know, they had their little moments and whatnot. But in reality, that's not the obvious choice. The obvious choice in reality would have been 221 Chaz, because they were in an alliance together. And I had Chaz on the podcast. His just dropped this morning, so he kind of goes in on this, and he has a bone to pick with TJ.
100%. Like they were always hanging out. Like that was their crew. So I thought for sure, like you know, you're going down the line. Like, all right, so he picks him, like kind of like in basketball too. Like back in the day, like pick up. All right, he's gonna pick him. He's gonna pick him. I was like, well, who's gonna pick me? And I lost most of my crew. So you know, it was really Mai or nothing at that point.
Yeah. No, 100%, especially when the women got all together. But the thing is, luckily Mai's the way she is. And unapologetically, I love her for that. She don't care about this whole women thing. She don't care about what y'all got going on. She's worried about her and about this game. You got to do that. And you are her best chance. These other women don't really care about her like that, as you know, as shown. So she definitely knows what's up. I respect her for that. I stand by her for that. And definitely more people kind of need I'm not going to speak on the gender thing too much, but women's alliances never work on these shows, ever. They never work. And if that's your commonality, then y'all need to do a little bit more soul searching, because there's like
Well, the problem is there's no depth to that relationship. Like, if you and I were just like, all right, we're cool because we're men, like that's just so surface level, right? You know what I mean? Like, and the other quote that I hated in there was, all these guys are getting the girls out. We weren't targeting women. Like, that was the furthest thing from my mind. Like,
Man.
It was hard to watch. I actually felt bad for my guy Dan. I felt bad for a lot of the guys out there. But now looking back at it, where some of the strongest competitors got knocked out there, and I'm looking down, I'm like, wait a second, this is actually playing to my advantage, because there are some really strong teams and competitors that got eliminated because of that.
Yeah, no, definitely it was crazy, man. I mean. Eric spoke on his Instagram today. If you saw his story, you know, he touched base on that pretty funny. Like, if guys did that to women, then it would have been whole hell break loose, you know, everybody losing their minds, which I understand. Now, from an American point of view, Americans very feminist society, outspokenly feminist. And then Ireland, I probably not as much. So it's completely.
Bro, and the other thing I was thinking too, I was like, please let tug of war be next. Please put me against the other 19. Let's go.
Hey, he was ready, man. He was ready.
Bro, I would have been set if tug of war was next.
He was ready. He was chomping at the bit.
I was so excited, man.
We find out TJ picks Mai, and then fortunately Mai says, forget y'all, she's picking Chad, so Chad is safe. And you end up picking a woman.
Mikey.
You pick Mikey, sorry. So why do you pick Mikey, real quick?
So again, this is the first time that I'm telling anybody this, and they hint at it a little bit on the show. So two things. One, Mikey came over to my bed to talk before this happened. I didn't really know him that well, but he was best friends with Kyle, and he knocked out Kyle from Fort Lauderdale. And Kyle told me, look, if I get out, watch out for my boy Mikey. He's a good dude. So Mikey comes over, he's talking to me about his family. They talk about his kids, or he talks about his kids on the show. And I was like, man, this is a real guy. And he's here again for a good reason. And I really struggled up there because I did have a relationship with other guys out there. Dan would have been my second pick. And I know that he said some bad things about me, but we've texted back and forth. And actually, that's the only hate I've gotten on social, is that I didn't save Dan. And Dan was a player. But Mikey's story just hit with me. I told Kyle I would look out for him. So I struggled with that pick, but then obviously I ended up picking Mikey. And then Mikey picks his best friend, and that causes the women's movement, which that was not my fault.
Yeah, well, you do have some still blood on your hands because we have some other complaints on who you decided to pick. So, were you cool with AK and Gnu?
So they somehow ended up sneaking onto our tug of war warship line, right? So I was cool with it, yes. And they basically, while I was mourning the loss of my snack pack, Brownie, Figgy, everybody, they were really trying to like build up this alliance and come up with this group and whatnot. And I wasn't having it. And that was during the 2 days where I wasn't really doing anything. So super nice guys. So AK is mad at me, and this is another thing why I didn't save AK. And AK actually texted me, and I didn't tell him this, so you can tell him. So, do you remember Eddie?
You remember who?
Eddie. I forget his number.
Yeah, 323.
I think so, Eddie. So Eddie and AK went up against each other in marbles, right? And AK faked an injury or being tired, so he couldn't shoot marbles. So he can get Eddie to play Nim, and Nim is a separate game. And Eddie didn't know that it was basically a numbers game where if you go first, you can automatically win. And I didn't like that because Eddie was my guy too. And somebody told me that, and that got back to me, and I was like, all right, so yeah, AK is not my guy because of that. And they didn't show that in the cut, but Eddie actually stopped by my office not too long ago, and we confirmed that. And let's just say that he wasn't upset that I didn't save AK. So that's the real story behind that.
I'm getting the real stories here. Wow, because yeah, that was asked to me by Gnu. And you know, what about him? Like, he kind of wonders, like, oh, Chad's up there. He should pick me.
So Gnu was then gonna pick AK.
Ah.
You gotta watch out who you hang out with, bro. You gotta watch out who you hang out with.
Oh, okay.
You know me and my relationships. If you get one of my guys, right? It's like the scene from Ocean's 11. It's like, no, he's not just gonna kill you. Like he's gonna kill your family. He's gonna kill everyone around you. And then maybe he'll take you out. And that's how I look at it, man. If you stake one of my guys, I'm not saving you. I'm not saving your friends. You're done with it. You're done. And he didn't know that at the time. And yeah, but that was tough for me again because like you weren't there. Like if you were there, that's easy, right? It's just that's my guy, right? And I didn't have somebody at that point, or if Mai was out there, like that's easy. I didn't have somebody that was like that from the beginning, so that was tough. And I stand by my choice. I mean, Mikey is just a solid human being, and I know going into the next game, which we'll get to in a second, where he 100% would have had me, but he didn't get a vest that was a good number. But we'll talk about that in a second, I'm sure.
Yeah, so yeah, that makes completely perfect sense. So Gino, if you're watching, because he will be watching this, he's anticipating this coming out because I told him I was going to be talking to you because I spoke to him last night and he went on like, you should watch his. I just posted his today, so he touches base on this heavily.
I'm gonna watch it, but if you talk to him, tell him still think he's a great guy. Like I these aren't bad people. Like
yeah. And he said he respects you. Like he has no problem with you, but he did want me to ask you that, so that was for him.
Oh, and he's gonna be surprised, I think. So
okay, yeah. Well, there you go. You had it. So yes, and he also asked like, well, he asked me, do you think you would have been picked? I'm like 100%, because Mai would have picked me or Chad would have picked me.
Oh,
so I would have been fine.
No, right. You would have been, exactly. You would have been the second pick or third pick. That would have been easy.
Yeah. I think you two and then Chaz probably would have been the only other person to pick me. Everybody else, James wouldn't have picked me because he would have picked the same, he would have picked Perna over me easily. So, but yeah. So we move on, and 11 guys are hostile in their exit. I will say kindly. So I'm asking, before we move on, what was your version of the mood once they found out they were gone and everything?
Oh, bro, I'm just glad they didn't edit all. I mean, they didn't show their moves, and I hope they burn that tape because people were going in, and it was not a good mood there at all. I felt bad for him. Again, I didn't love it. If you're cool with somebody, pick somebody you're cool with. Don't just try to line it up like all of a sudden we need to do this. So there were a lot of good people out there that had good relationships with the women that picked women over the people they were in there with for weeks. Like if Mai would have picked a woman just because over her number mate that she was with, like I would have lost all respect for her at that point because I knew that wasn't her by her character, and she showed it. And anybody that thinks she should have done that, I just disagree with completely. It's like, I'm gonna pick my brother, I'm gonna pick my sister over somebody that I just have a surface level relationship with just because you think I should do that. So it was that was the most awkward time in the dorm for me when those guys were like, all right, you guys got to go. I honestly thought there was going to be fight out or something. It was not healthy at that point.
Yeah, I heard some of the things that they were saying. I was like, whoa, like,
no,
whoa.
Some people could have got canceled for sure.
100%, man. Yeah.
So I'm glad that didn't happen to him because, again, most of the people in there were just solid people, but yeah, there were definitely some hurt feelings.
Hurt feelings indeed, but we move on to the final 20, and we are almost to episode 8. Then we find out it's Glass Bridge, and then so how episode 7 ends essentially is we start. Well, actually, I'm skipping a whole thing. Jesus. We get into the white room, and it's a teddy bear pick, and we have these things going on, and so everyone must select their teddy bear, and that's the number they give to somebody else. And you receive teddy bear number
11.
11 from.
It was B, actually. So this was actually, and we'll be quick on this because I know we're taking up a lot of time here, but I got number 15, I believe, 15 or 16, and I gave it to Sam because that was my Fort Lauderdale Alliance. Mine was already safe, and Mai got a bad number. She got like 4, and Mikey got a bad number. He got like 5. And those were the 2 that I knew would have given me good numbers. So I was like, oh man, I'm in trouble here. But luckily, and this is part of the game too, where, I had a lot of friends, but I was really clear to like not have really many enemies. So there were people getting numbers that were bad numbers. But they never looked at me and they never gave it to me. So I ended up being the last draft pick where I got the last bear. They didn't show it. So B was last to pick, and it was funny. They have to give like speeches and everything about why you're giving the number. And so B's like gonna say something nice about me, and they're like, just give him the number. Like, really?
It's like, come on, y'all. We only got so much time for this thing. These lights are expensive. We got to turn these lights off. Come on.
I was like, can I get a moment where somebody says something nice about it? Like, nope, let's move on. So yeah, so then I got my number 11.
Got his number. So then we move into the beautiful glass bridge set. Looks amazing. Looks sick. Definitely would have loved to see that. So then we get started. TJ is first. He picks first. He is gone. How are you feeling about your fearless leader being gone, man?
So if you look closely, I'm like, oh, we're not. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
I thought we all were gonna clap, like, but then people were like, "Oh no!" So then I was like, "Oh no!" So you just gotta read the room. So if we're upset, then we gotta be upset. Oh, okay.
Hey, by force of nature, you fix that real quick. Real
quick. And what was crazy about it too was like when I talk about it was quick because TJ, bro, he gives this long speech. He goes, "We're gonna do this together. I'm your trusted leader. You can be number 1. Let's go." He shouts. He goes, "Player blah 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 eliminated." I was dying because he gives his 15-minute speech and he's done in 3 seconds. I was like, wow, that was wild. It was a wild scene. Like I wish they would show that whole thing because man, it was like going to war, right? And your leader just gets shot in the head right away. I was sitting there, I'm just laughing. And then he got but Chad's all fired up. No, not Chaz. Who was next? The jump.
It was Chaz. Yeah, Chaz.
It was Chaz, right? And then Chaz gets smoked right away. I was like, oh shoot. Everybody's going down. And I'm number 11, so I'm like, if we don't do this 50-50 thing, I need some people to get some wins here. Mm-hmm. Because we had 17, I think, to jump.
Yeah.
And with the 50-50, I would have had to jump 2 or 3 depending. So I'm like doing all the math in my head. So yeah, that was a rough start.
Rough start indeed. Yes, the first 2 brothers in the line are executed, just like the scary movies. Terrible. I'm just watching like, oh my gosh, really? This is what we doing, coach? This is what we doing? And I'll get into that once Buster is over. But yes. So then Trey is next, and Trey picks right. Then Marina 77 agrees to overtake Trey, and she gets eliminated. Ashley says she was stupid as hell for doing that. And then Ashley is next, and then so this is where the controversy starts, and this is where the episode ends. So episode 7 ends, and so go ahead and talk the people through this one with Ashley's decision and what really happened in real time, just to set the record straight.
All right. So for all of you people out there, Ashley did not get Trey eliminated, right? So Trey, I don't know what happened with Trey. I talked to Trey before we went up, and I like behind the stage. He's like, man, what would you do? You know, number 3. I go, look, I would not move. I would say I'm standing right here. I said maybe I'll take 1 jump, but I'm not taking 15 jumps because I'm going to be out. And if any of you guys want to move up, you can. And all these thoughts were going through his head. And this guy gets out there and he takes a jump, passes, is like looking back, and they show him looking back. Ashley was going to take her move, but then Trey takes another jump out of nowhere. And we're like, what the hell? And I'm yelling out, Trey, stop! You're an idiot! Stop it! And I'm yelling at him, right? And he turns around. He goes, "Would you give my mom this number? Why'd you give me this number?" He takes another jump, and then his ass gets eliminated. And then all of a sudden, and you can see the editing too, like the editing was off because they show like 4 people, then they show 3 people. Like it wasn't accurate at all. And then Ashley gets all this hate, which comes up later. And so Trey eliminated himself. He thought in his mind that it was going to be epic. I think he blacked out a little bit. He thought he was going to get all like 14 and just be this amazing character, which he actually did save a couple people. He saved Sam, because Sam would have had to jump. Because Sam was next in line, but because Trey took multiple jumps, Sam actually got to the point where he didn't have to jump.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, this man, he thought he was, Troy Bolton could, play basketball and make it to the High School Musical in one day. I don't think it works like that, Coach. Not in the real life.
Man. I don't know what happened. He just short-circuited. But again, it's not Ashley's fault, so stop throwing hate Ashley's way.
Yeah, Trey.
She likes being the villain, but yeah, Trey got a different cut there for sure.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing. If he would have said there, and I'm not jumping, then maybe Ashley would have passed him up. Maybe. But we don't know because that's not what happened. And the edit is tricking people, And
Ashley jumped. Ashley took her jump.
She did jump. She did take her jump. But overtaking Trey after he took his first jump is what I mean. So
no, that's what you're saying.
But
so
that's what's going on. So now we start episode 8. And we already started it. Trey picks his things. He jumps a couple times, makes it. And then he's eliminated. So I say 30 jumps again is eliminated, finally. Oh my gosh, my notes are cracking me up. And I did put a smiley face by you and Mai when you picked each other in the line before, so that was, I was happy about that.
Thank you.
So then Elliot says everyone has to make a 50-50 decision. Easy for him to say because he's in the back.
Right.
Mai says 278 is selfish. 278 picks right and makes it. You can interrupt me whenever if you need to interject. 31 picks next and is safe. Then Jackie 393 is next and picks wrong and she is eliminated. Roland picks next and makes it. Elliot picks next and makes it. Bill is next and makes it. Chad picks next, and then Chad asks Mai to pick for him. He trusts her. Mai says left. Why are you putting all your trust in Mai right now, man?
Well, I was a little nervous because 3 people picked right in a row, right? And I was like, man, that's 4 in a row is going to be really tough. And I'm looking back, and I'm seeing Mai's like staring, like in the real show, where like, okay, can I tell the difference between the glass? Which I don't think you can. I don't think there's any tells like that. But throughout the game, every game that I got through, I had basically team get me through it. Like Aurora in the first game, Brownie in the second game. I had so many people, Figgy, that got me through the games, and I was like, man, if I'm gonna go out, I want my little secret CIA agent back there to tell me which one. And I had full faith in her. And we had a nice little moment there, but that was just a weird feeling where it's like, this could be it. So you saw I took a big jump. Right?
They were about to be like, look, bro, you won't break the glass. Chill, coach. You might get the right one.
You picked the right one, but still. Yeah, man. So that was a cool moment though, and yeah, luckily Mai picked the right one for me.
That's right. She took care of business, and so did you. Rose picks next and is hoping her ancestors lead her, and they do. She makes it. 23, Siobhan is next and is eliminated. We didn't get to see much of Siobhan, which is upsetting. So justice for Siobhan right there.
Yeah, and Siobhan was a character for sure.
Mm-hmm. Then we have.
I'm surprised she jumped actually.
Really? Why? Oh, because of Ashley and whatnot.
Yeah.
What do you think? All the black girls gonna do the same thing? Coach, what you trying to say?
No, Siobhan was just tough, man. Siobhan was tough.
Oh. R.I.P. Siobhan. Next is Mikey, 254, isn't it? And he is eliminated. Irish ain't so lucky today.
Nope. I was heartbroken, man. The guy that I saved, another one of my new teammates, like that relationship, and then just gone.
If you get too close to Chad, you know, if you ain't name ain't mine, then you gonna be by. So then James, 269, he is the last one. Bro. He is swiftly eliminated.
Bro, that got the sweetest kid ever too, man. And yeah, that was a sad time, man. He's a really nice kid.
Yeah, they didn't give James enough coverage either, man. James is one of probably the nicest guy in the whole entire show. Like he never stopped smiling. He's either smiling or crying.
100%. Him and Pernin would be my two like nicest humans in the entire game. I think, and there were a lot of them, but those definitely I think were my top two in no particular order.
Yeah, 100%. So then everyone else makes it. 8 players are eliminated. Congrats. Chad has made it to the top 12. We in here. We see the money is right in our grasp. Let's go. We in this. Mai says 278 doesn't deserve. So we get back in the dorms. Mai says 278 doesn't deserve to be there. And if she gets the chance, she will eliminate her. 12 people left. It's a little eerie feeling we see, you know, coming back in there. So when it's 12 beds, what's going through your head, man?
Well, the first thing is, you know, I was still noticing the clicks. Like I was noticing who was clicking up. What was cool though, I really got to know Ashley better. I got to know Haley better. I got to know all of them much better because there's only 12 of us at this point. You know, I knew Sam, got to talk to him a little bit more. And again, I'm just doing my thing. I'm relationship building. I mean, that's what I've done my whole life. So I felt really comfortable with pretty much everybody in there. Amanda and I had a connection. Elliot's a super nice guy. Roland. I mean, we had a good, solid group of people where I wasn't concerned really about any of them truly backstabbing or doing anything. Even though, you know, we're 11 people. You win 4.56 million. I felt pretty comfortable in my relationship with all of them.
That's good, man. Yeah, definitely. You took care of your business in that end of the spectrum, and you know you had really not too much to worry about when it came to everybody else. So that's excellent. You know, couldn't ask for too much more than that.
100%.
So, where was I? 12 people left. Yes. So Ashley says you have to knock some walls down to get inside of her to understand where she's coming from. Definitely understand that. Sam, he hasn't been shown too much at this point. Is feeling uncomfortable with the nervous energy. The vibe in the dorms are very different. Then we meet Sam. He is an artist from Broward County, Florida. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's Broward County, but he's actually from like right up the street from me. It's basically Fort Lauderdale. He lives about 5 miles from me.
Okay. He says he tried not to be gay growing up because people would always ridicule him in his early childhood. And he said he has to build a whole new family. It's very touching, build a whole new family because everyone around him just was not flying with it because he grew up in a very religious household. Very interesting there. Sam's a great dude. People are soon shook that there are so many people out, and they kind of have a little moment like just reminiscing. Then we see Mai and Chad grow closer, which they're already close. So it's like, you know, they just, I like how they make it seem like this is when y'all get close.
I know, right? and part of that is the character building 1 through 5, it just wasn't there. Like there were so many relationships that were built that they just didn't show. So yeah, we were like, we're 20 something days in at this point. So yeah.
They didn't just meet, they've already, you know, came close, but it's TV. Mai says to you, Mai says not to you, she says she ultimately can't trust anyone to herself. Then Chad sees people plotting. He's like, what's going on, coach? He's not asleep this time. He's awake. He's learned his lessons. Ashley is trying to get the numbers on her side. Everyone's talking about alliances. Ashley sees the clicks, and she's got to play nice with everyone. Perna gets introduced finally, and he says he's born in Nepal, but lives in Kansas City. He grew up in a very poor environment, and the money would help his family immensely. The guards soon come out, and it's time for the next, well, they don't even say anything. They come out and just put a little triangle and put the dice on the floor. Man, what's going on in your head when they do this?
Man, I was like, this is, my initial reaction was like, this is stupid. Whatever this is, I want no part of it. This is dumb. And you can check the tape. This isn't just me Monday morning quarterback. I was like, this is dumb. We made the top 12. Like, what is this? That's my initial thought.
Yeah, this was, when I heard about this, I was like, what we doing here? Like, what?
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But they bring the game out, and guards, you know, they put the dice in the middle of the triangle, and then you have to pick a leader again this time. So now it's your time to be leader. TJ's not here no more. Why are you thinking about being leader? Well, you did what you said you would do. You did what you said you would do the first time. So definitely you standing on what you said before, man. 10 toes down. This man's doing what he says he's gonna do, and he nominates Mai as the leader. Self-explanatory, man.
Yep, and I did that too in Warships. Brownie wanted that moment, so I made sure Brownie got her moment. Mai wanted this moment, so she actually was unanimous this time as the leader. And there were multiple people that wanted it, but I obviously wanted Mai to have control of whatever is going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. People, come on now, connect the dots. Chad's been the same man through the whole game. Same man. He ain't changed.
That's right.
Bro. So they introduce the rules. If you roll a 6, then one player must be eliminated. Before you roll, you must either select to nominate yourself or nominate someone else to be eliminated. The test will continue until 3 players are eliminated. And then everyone talks now. You get a little chance to talk, and everyone says they should nominate themselves. Are you thinking the same thing?
No. Absolutely not. There were a couple things going through my head, and I'm going to give you something that nobody knows. This is only going to be on your podcast. I didn't tell anybody else this. And if I get in trouble from Netflix, so be it.
You ain't gonna get in trouble because all the stuff I've been hearing, I heard Brighton admit today that he messed his cookie up. So,
bro, yeah, if he's not getting in trouble, then we should be good. So in the show, they didn't actually tell the full rules. So do you want to hear what they really said?
Yeah, what now they leave it out.
You don't know about this, right? Nobody's told you.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part.
So here's the deal. Mai and I could have guaranteed ourselves to be in the top 9 together. You want to know how?
How is that?
So Mai picks Ashley. Then Mai gets to roll the die. And then Mai gets to choose who to give the die to. He gives it to me. I can pick Ashley. I can roll it. And then guess what? I can give it right back to Mai. And that's what Mai was thinking. when she did that with Ashley.
Okay.
Which we were at 12. Obviously, if we were at 5 going to the top 3, I would have done that all day. Back and forth, the other 3, you're done.
Yeah, that's perfect. Then you get everybody else out.
Yeah, but with 12, my thought was twofold. One, the people that made it that far wouldn't deserve to go out that way. And I didn't want to be the one that decided the 3 to go, because regardless of what Ashley said about me later, in which she apologized to me, it was more of a shot at Mai than it was at me supposedly losing Big Chad. I liked Ashley. She's a good person. I like everybody in that circle. Obviously, I like myself more, but I didn't want to be the one that sent them home for a selfish reason like that and go against my character. Part of it, though, it is a social game. So Mai stepped up, got the die. So she had control over that. We could have gone back and forth and, sorry, Sam, you're out. Sorry, Amanda. Sorry, whoever. And what we probably would have done is eliminated Elliot and Amanda and that little group. We probably would have got rid of, and she would have wanted to get rid of Ashley. But you'll see in the show, and Ashley actually thanked me for this. When Mai picked Ashley, I actually hugged Ashley, and they cut it out. I said, "No, we're not going to do it this way." And then Mai gets on board with passing the die side by side. And what happened though is that was dangerous, because I don't know if everybody else remembered it, but anybody at that point could have teamed up with somebody and said, "This is what we're going to do. Like we're going to take Chad. We're just going to keep nominating Chad, pass back and forth." They cut that out of the show. I don't know why they cut that out of the show, but that was the real part of the challenge. Was they were tempting us to guarantee ourselves into the top 9, which I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do it that way, and I thought it would come back to bite us maybe in the next challenge.
Man, that's wild. I mean, just thinking about that, it's like she had she made it, but she had a guaranteed spot to final 9, and you essentially did too. And that's tough to kind of, contemplate. And the thing is, I will say this, you've spent so much time here with these people, like that's a hard thing to do. I know it's like worth this much money, and you just met these people, but you spend more time with these people in these last 20 days than you have some people in years and years of knowing them. It's different being in there without electronics, without anything. So you get to know these people real close, and you feel like you know them better than so many people know them in their life, which you do at this point. Put that into effect and then eliminate them like that is just like, damn, that's savage.
If there would have been 3 like bad people there, or evil people there, like that would have been easy, right? And it would have been fun, right? But no, everybody in that final 12, I thought I got to know them. I knew about their family, I knew about their history, I know why they're there. That's just not me, and maybe it should have been, looking back on it, but it's just not me. And I think that it's more important to hold my character, who I am, than even giving myself a better shot at the 4.56.
Yeah, 100%. And also to follow that, lastly, is like the people who were left. That the end of the day, pretty much everyone that was left kind of was like chilling most of the game. Like you're just sitting back, not doing too much. Where the people who were out front, for the most part, they're gone by now. And those people, they say like, oh, those are the more personality people, like for TV and whatnot. And if they would have got to the end, they would probably do your strategy you just said. But the thing is, the name of the game is kind of stay low, do your own thing. So personality-wise, nobody's personality was like that anyways. So it was impossible. It was damn near impossible for anyone to get convinced to do that. So just the personalities that were left in the nature of the game. I mean, if they did that at the beginning, then sure, yeah, it'd have been easy. But that was it.
100%. Yeah. In the game, weeded those people out pretty quickly and it showed with the final 12.
Yeah, definitely showed. I mean, final 12, I liked everybody. Anybody could win the money, and I'd be happy with the character-wise. So yes, we continue. We start. Everyone votes Mai as a leader. She rolls a 6. You just said she nominated Ashley. This was surprising to everyone. But Ashley is safe. She rolls a 4. Then Roland is next, chosen by Mai. Is he standing next to her?
The editing was way off on this. So
okay.
We were there for like 2 hours rolling, by the way. And so it went to the right. And then what we did is just like a snake draft in the, and I actually brought that part up where the person that went last, which was Rose, had to roll twice. Because Rose had a chance of never getting the die because she was at the end. So she had to roll twice and then it had to come back around. So Perna, B gets out first. Then Perna gets out. And there was a moment there where Haley felt bad. I forget her number.
355.
What's her number?
355.
Yeah, 355. She felt bad that she didn't give me a bit because we were close, and she got number 13. But she was hoping I was going to get number 17. I ended up getting 11. She felt bad, so she actually rolled before me. We rolled out a turn, and she volunteered to do that. So B and Perna get out. And then there are 8 people there are 8 rolls that have to happen before the die gets back to me. And I'm pretty good with math. There's 6 numbers on the die, 8 rolls. One of those has to be a 6, right? And of course it was not. And then it gets back to me, and I actually rolled 3 times. The first 2, one was a 1, one was a 3. It bounced over the rope, so it didn't count. Third one hits the rope, stays in. Yeah, destroyed. Like
the third one is
destroyed.
So yes, the third one is unfortunately a 6, and that is how the episode ends. Chad has to make his untimely exit. Oh my God, my stomach stank. My stomach sunk, and it was just, that was hard, man. I was hard. I can only imagine watching that back. You kind of got all those emotions again. And tell me what's going on with you when you see that 6.
Bro, destroyed. Like I honestly thought at that point I was set up to win the game. I had everything in line. I was ready to compete, whatever the competition was, and I saw the next competition, and with my background and my relationship,
you would have been good. You would have won,
bro. And to go out like that, it just it hurt, man. And people ask why didn't they see me in what do they call that room with the little microphones that Lorenzo was in? No, the other one. I forget the name of it right now, but where Lorenzo was all dressed up in whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forget the name too.
Yeah. So they try to get me to do all these interviews and everything right after, and I was like, I was giving 1-word answers, and they were like, "So what did you think about the game?" I was like, "I think you guys got lazy." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, we could have done like rock, paper, scissors or thumb wrestling. I mean, could have, if we're just going to sit there and stand in a circle, rolling a die, especially coming off of all the other cool sets and the cool things that we're doing for top 12 to me to be standing in a circle." And honestly, I told somebody, I was like, "I'm going to go to bed. Somebody just nominate me during my time and roll for me." And they were like, "No, you can't do that. You have to stand here." I was like, "Why? Because am I going to roll the die differently?" So I was like, "If we're going to do it this way, just give us a lottery ticket or give us all a ticket and just call out numbers. I mean, this is stupid." So that was my feeling. I don't know how people have reacted to it out there. I know that I got a lot of support where people thought I was the favorite going in there. I always thought Mai was legit the favorite. And I think they showed me saying that early in the
you did say that. Yeah, you did say that.
But yeah, man, I was just destroyed. And watching it, honestly, the last couple of days have been difficult because just reliving that, being so damn close. And top 10. I got to get 9 more people out.
Yeah, and you definitely would have killed that interrogation circle of trust thing, man. I was just thinking about like Chad, the lawyer, like he can look at someone and be like, really? And then people, honestly, I can't. The way it went, I mean, I can't say nobody would have put the box on you, so I can't even say that. You probably maybe would have got the box put on you at least once, but I mean, Sam didn't get the box put on him at all, So
yeah,
who knows?
I think people would have been nervous because of me being a lawyer in my background and just knowing people. I think they would have been nervous to put it on my desk. And I think the only person that would have, and I would have respected it, would have been Mai. I would have never picked her, and she knows that. And I would have respected that move. I wouldn't have done it to her, but I would 100% have respected that move. And if I would have gone out that way, that would have been epic. Like I actually would have liked that.
Yeah, no, that's better than going out on a freaking dice roll where it's just like, are we at the casino, coach? Like, what is going on, man? Kids don't even do dice. What is this? Ain't even a kid's game. Kids don't even play with dice.
Right?
I ain't never played with no dice growing up. I'm like, oh, let's get the dice and roll it. Who does?
No,
I mean,
no, bro. Let's play laser tag, bro. Let's do something. Paintball.
I know. I mean, all these kids game, and then we get to the casino game, and just like, what is going on?
Nah,
yeah, man, that was.
It honestly seemed like they were like, oh shoot, we got to get down to 9. Anybody have any idea? Like they're like looking around the room, like I got a rope. I gotta die. Let's figure something out.
That was probably the easiest thing. You could have went to this local supermarket and got the equipment. Out of any of the games, that's the only game where you could have done something like that. And it's like, because I think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think they might have wanted more people to get out on Glass Bridge than they imagined, and it just didn't happen. So
we beat the odds in Glass Bridge by 3 people. So that is true. And that's because so many, remember, we guessed 4 in a row. Trey guessed 2 in a row. So we out the odds actually by 3 people. We beat the odds.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you could have done 9 people in the interrogation thing, which would have been fine. Like it's 9 people, or 12 people. No,
12 people. Yeah.
12 people. Yeah, 12 people. Which I don't know if they thought it was too many, so I don't know. That's a head scratcher, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah, especially with like they put so much money into these games and everything, and then that's the challenge. Like what? At that point, I'd rather do a social vote. Then if we're gonna do social votes, if we're gonna play a social game, let's do a social vote and see what happens.
Yeah,
and maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no, 100%. And even with, that point, I mean, I guess like the pick me was kind of like they didn't have to spend no money on that either, like the whole schoolyard pickup. But maybe that was random and they're thrown in there too because they thought, there was too many people at that point. So they had to get it down to the Glass Bridge people. And that was kind of like put in there because maybe more people should have gotten in red light, green light, or more people should have got out in Dalgona, or more people should have got out in Battleships, So because those were all not like marbles where you knew exactly how many people was getting out. So yeah, man, that's correct.
I like your conspiracy theory. I think that's true because everything else was like planned out. This just seemed kind of like, all right, yeah, you guys stand in a circle and do this. And we're like, why?
I don't know, Coach, but it's disappointing to watch, to say the least. And when I heard, I mean, it's worse hearing about than watching because when I got because. Look, I ain't gonna say who told me what, but when I heard about it, I was just like, huh? Like, what? I mean, the votes is one thing, and I was kind of thinking the same thing when they said the schoolyard pick too, but that's still kind of a vote. But this was just like, I don't know. I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan, and I know you weren't either.
And I would like to see like what the general public think about it too as well. I can't imagine that was one of the more compelling scenes for people where it just seems unfair for and obviously I went out, but if anybody would have gone out that way, it's like you made it to the top 12. Like I don't know if you saw my quote they have on Netflix where it said let me fight all the guards in the door, every single one of them. Like, and if I lose, I'm out, right? But having me stand there, because I hope they show the outtake where I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to bed. Somebody else roll for me, and they're like, player 286, get back up. I'm like, really? You need me here?
It's crazy, man. I can't believe it. But sadly, yeah, that's the way it happened. So you tell me, you get out and you finally get back home. How are you feeling when you get back to Florida?
Well, happy to see my family, happy to see my friends. I lost 35 pounds. And everything, it was like on overload when you get back to like TV, computers, cell phone, and all that. So I try to take it easy, easing back into it. Honestly, and like reliving it now, people are like, oh, but you inspired people and you played the right way and this and the other. But at the end of the day, I lost, man. I lost. And I went there to win. And it sucks that I lost. Could have done things differently, but I played it how I played it. I felt like I let a lot of people down, which to me, like, that's the worst, because if I got a 4.56, we all were gonna eat too. Like, we're gonna have a good time, let's just say, and all the people that got me there. So and to be top 10, you're right there, and just snatched away like that, where it's like, all right, you're out. It was tough, and I definitely felt like I let down Mai, obviously, because as much as she was my protector, I felt like I was her protector as well. We protected each other and kept going. So I'm happy as hell, proud of her that she's obviously in the final three, and obviously I want her to bring it home, and but yeah, still just feel destroyed, and it's too damn close.
Too close, man. Too damn close. And I don't take it you're gonna be buying any dice soon to have in your household.
No, actually, there's a local casino that just got craps, and they want me to come out for the opening day. I was like, nah, that's way too close. Like,
yeah, nah. We gonna skip that and we gonna play roulette instead, coach. Y'all got roulette. We gonna stay on the we're gonna do roulette. We gonna be on the slots. We'll play blackjack, but we ain't doing none of that other stuff. All right.
I'm good with that.
Well, man, you had an amazing run, dude. Like, I was proud of hearing everything and then watching it. Like, I was just like, yes. Keep your head up, man. Like, regardless of whatever happened, the way you went out, you still a winner. You still a winner in life, man. You still a champ. And a lot of people are, what they say, they look up to you. I'm one of those people. You definitely inspire me to show them, like, okay, like, regardless of what's coming your way, be cool, calm, and collected. Take a deep breath and do it. You doubted yourself and Cookie, but you took care of those business. You might have had some other doubts in other areas. You took care of it, and you really did it the easiest, kind of the slow, patient way. You wasn't trying to rush through nothing. You put your trust in other people, which is impossible for most people to do. And with that, like, nobody else was doing that for real, So definitely you had the road of, and you stuck by your guns at the end of the day. You wasn't flip-flopping and doing all this craziness. You stood by your beliefs. You stood by the people who was your people, regardless of what everybody else thought. And with that, I highly, highly commend you, because not a lot of people would have probably done that or even did that. They was doing a whole bunch of other craziness. And then submitting to people things that they didn't truly believe in too, You didn't do that either. You stood like, look, this is what I'm thinking. I don't care if anybody else wants to do this, and you standing by that, and I truly respect that 100%, man. You my dog, you my brother. Always be there. You ever need a chat, man, you know where to find me, man. I'm easy to get a hold of. I really 100% appreciate you coming on here and sharing all that. I'm honored to have you. I love having you. If you ever want to come back on and talk to somebody, I'll set it up. We can take care of it. And that's my piece, man.
Hey, my brother, I really appreciate everything that you're doing, and just keep up the fantastic work. yes, if you ever want to bring me back on and we need to settle some squid beef, we can certainly do that. I know I'm not the most controversial figure, but I know there are some people out there that want to take some shots at me. I'm happy to respond. But man, keep doing what you're doing, and thank you so much for your kind words. This has been incredible.
Man, this was a great time, man. Yeah, you want, like I said, you my dog. I'm coming down there soon, very soon, so we can kick it. Love you, man. This was amazing. Look, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying on this, but I don't care no more. Forget the rules, man. Forget the rules. Netflix, I don't care what's going on. So they coming in, I don't know, you probably should know this. They're coming to New York this week.
Yeah,
are you coming up to New York?
Nah, I didn't get invited, actually. I know about it, but I didn't get invited. Yeah. They might be mad at me because I didn't do that last interview with them, but whatever. But I mean, they came up with the game, not me. So I blame them.
Look, I was about to say some things just now, but I had to catch myself. I'm not gonna throw no stray shots at nobody, okay? I'm not gonna throw no strays, but dang, man, I don't even know. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I didn't get invited, but I just, I know things going on and whatnot because I keep my head ear in them.
Of course, and I know the guest list as well, and I don't know. There's some people on there that I think I might be more compelling than that. I don't know, maybe. I know you are. I know you are more compelling than a lot of the people on the list, but look, I'm trying to, again, be that positive figure. But
well, I will ask. That's great. Yeah, no, go ahead. Are you going to be in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm going to Atlanta.
You are? Okay, cool. Now I can book my flight. I need to find you at least going. I wasn't going to book my flight. I'm going to book my flight now. I was thinking about it, going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know if I should go because, I have I'll tell you about this off camera, but I guess the things was going on with some other people. And yesterday I was like, you know what, I might go. And then I'm like, let me talk to some people. And today was the last day I was going to decide. I'm going to book my flight right after we get off here, man. I'm going to see you down there.
Yes. Let's make it happen. Oh, it's going to be a blast, dude. This is going to be fun.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it again. I'm going to let you get out of here. I know you're busy. Peace and blessings, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. And I can't wait to see y'all for the next one. We out here.